What's up guys, Vino here. Today we're going to show you guys how to obtain a Copart membership, all the steps you're going to need to go through in order to start winning those auctions and getting that dream car that you've always wanted or that you just can't afford right now because it's too expensive on the market. So you have two different options here for your memberships. You need a membership in order to bid on these cars and win these auctions. So you have your basic membership, $100 a year. That's going to get you access to online only, right? So you're going to be able to buy these cars, bid on these cars online. You can go in person, but you're not going to be able to actually go in the lot and look at the car, look it over and all that, right? The Premier membership, this is what I recommend for if you're a dealer, if you're going to buy more than 5 cars a year and you have that option to in your state. And this is going to cost you $250 with a $400 refundable deposit. And that's going to get you access to every single Copart auction, any state, as long as you have that dealer's license. Otherwise, there's certain states that you're not going to be able to bid on, and we'll go through that in a second here. So you're going to be able to bid up to $100,000 a daily. You're going to get that membership service phone support, which is always good. If you have any questions, you're going to be able to answer those fast. And you will be able to bid on an abundance of vehicles within that one day. And you will be able to join multiple auctions at once, giving you more of a chance to win that car that you're really looking for, or to get that car that you want to resell and make a profit on, rebuild, whatever the case may be. So now that we got past all of the membership options and what you're going to do to be able to get that membership. So then after you submit your ID and all the documents that you need for your Copart membership, it usually takes up to 48 hours. That's how long it took me to get approved so I could start bidding on those cars, right? And for the basic membership, you're only going to have a $2,000 limit to bid. Now you can increase that by going to the Copart app, or whether you're going on the website or app, you want to go to payment, deposits. Now I know we're probably not going to be buying cars for under $2,000. That's just, you're going to get something crappy, whether it be a little beater. So 10% of whatever you want to bid is what you're going to want to deposit. So if I want to bid up to $3,700, I'm going to need $370 to add into the account so I can bid up to that amount. And this is all refundable. So you win the auction, get the car, you're still going to have that money tied up inside your buying power. It's going to show you your buying power after you do all that. And you can add more if you need more, or send it back to your account if you actually need that money at the time. So next we're going to be going through the states that you're going to be actually able to buy cars from Copart, whether it be if you have the auction license, don't have the auction license. So now we've jumped over to the computer. You got your United States map right here, and these are going to be all your states that you need a valid business license, which is going to be the gray area. Mix of licensing. So this is going to depend on which Copart location you're bidding on. So in Michigan, I know you can bid at most of the Copart sites and all that, and some of them are going to be dealer only. Your green states, obviously, no business license required. Now this is what I'm going to recommend for any beginner, don't have that dealer's license. And that's going to be your north states in the United States. I'm from the north side of the states, so I'll be bidding all up here in these states here. So now that we got that covered, and also if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. I will answer all of them to the best of my abilities. As you see, these are the memberships that we already went through. You can kind of look at if you need more time, more clarification. Now we're going to go through if you want cars from the broker, right? So if you want these cars that only dealers can bid on, you have that option. You do. And that's how you're going to do it. You need to go through the brokers. Now, these are Copart brokers. So we have the list of brokers right here. Auto Bid Master. You see you have that security deposit, transaction fees, and that's going to be per car. So you need to keep that in mind. That's going to cost you a little bit more, but you will have that access to those dealer auctions and be able to get that car. Next, we're gonna go through the Copart non-licensed fees. There's gonna be normal people with that basic membership, right? Clean title, non-clean title. I shop for non-clean titles. I really don't care. The insurance is not that big of a deal. You have some smaller companies that just won't insure the car if it's been rebuilt and called as an insurance loss. Geico will insure these cars. Progressive, I think, will not insure them, but there's different insurance companies out there, so you have a lot of different options. So next thing we're gonna go through is your secured payment methods. It's gonna be debit card, wire transfer, cashier's check, etc., right? All something secure. Unsecured methods, I mean your credit card, Apple Pay, things like that. I recommend that you just use a secure payment method. It's gonna, less money in the long run. I'll not buy much, but who's gonna get a car for 50 bucks, Junkyard price. It'll start adding up, as you can see, as you start going down, they're getting kind of hefty, and this is just 800 bucks. Now, if you're looking for a nice car, you're probably gonna be anywhere from 3,500 up all the way, maybe even more if you got that extra cash in your pocket and you're actually looking for something for yourself. Now you see 4 grand, you're gonna be paying that $700 with a secure payment method. I like to tack on, so if you win the auction at 4,000, I just say we're gonna end up spending 5 grand, with fees. Gate fees, so it's gonna be when you're picking up your car through the Copart Transporter app. You're gonna need to pay this fee. There's no way of getting out of it. Virtual bid fees, this is gonna be your pre-bid. You probably won't win an auction off of that, and your live bid, that's what I do. So when you're actually looking at the auction blocks, you're looking at that car that you want, you're waiting for it to come up, you're gonna have to pay that extra amount. As you can see, roughly 100 bucks if you're looking at a pretty decent car. Shipping fees, we'll talk about that in a second. Title shipping, that's gonna cost you an extra 20 bucks. Environmental fees, 15 bucks. All not seeing that much, but it's gonna start adding up. Late payments, so that includes the day that you buy it. Within 3 business days, including the day that you buy it, you're gonna want to go ahead and pick that car up, pay for it in full, so that you're not getting charged that extra 50 bucks. Rates may vary from location. Relist fees, this is if you don't end up buying the vehicle or don't have those funds within that 8 days. You're going to be charged that 10% of the purchase price with a minimum of $600. So that's pretty much, you're just throwing money away. So if you're bidding on something, guys, you want to make sure you're going to be able to pay for it and all that good stuff. They do have financing options, and that's going to cost you an extra fee on top of whatever interest you'll be paying. So now we got through the fees, got through the membership. Let's actually go ahead and look at a car here. So let's just search up Audi S8. This is something I want to buy in the near future. Just click on this first one. It's going to be in Illinois, so obviously I'm not going to be able to buy that because I don't have that dealer's license. And if you don't want to keep going back and checking if you're not eligible, it's actually going to tell you right here in the bidding information. Boom, not eligible. Why? Because I don't have those extra licensing. I won't be able to. Got your VIN number, you can, run the Carfax, got your miles, primary damage, can have your secondary damage, the estimated value car, and that's probably going to be when it's fixed up. Keys, you want to make sure it has the keys, certificate of salvage, so there's different salvage titles, you get flood and all that good stuff. Those are all going to need to go through the rebuild process in your state, whatever that may be. I'll cover my state in the next video, get you guys through all that good stuff. And sometimes you can actually, there'll be a video here where you can listen to the engine running. That's going to be a nice option, especially for somebody like me that's not going to be in that location starting the car up, right? So this is an enhanced vehicle. Now, this means the car could have been vacuumed out, cleaned up. They also have R, means run and drive. So that means it drives under its own power around the lot, etc. It could still have an engine problem, could have a transmission problem, it goes on. Stationary, this could be the motor's blown, transmission's blown, electrical problems. There's really no telling unless you're really inspecting that car there. And that's kind of the bad part about not having that extra membership to go in and look. So next, we're gonna have domestic shipping options. So it's gonna be you're in the States, right? International, you're overseas buying from here. So that delivery fee, there's a reason why it's called an estimate, because that is not gonna be the price. I would see either double or triple whatever you're quoted right here, just to be safe. Another thing, you want to actually look up the parts that you're going to be replacing. Some of these parts are really expensive, hard to come by. Some of them are not so expensive, cheap, you can get them anywhere. We're also going to be talking about having those receipts for that rebuild process. So if you don't have those receipts, chances are you're not going to pass that state inspection. I like to buy all my parts new, whether it be aftermarket or whatever, off of Amazon, eBay, something like that, where I'm gonna have those receipts and how much I paid for it right there. So I'm not gonna have to worry about getting the VIN number down, writing a bill of sale if it's not in a junkyard, all that extra stuff. So we talked about those deposits. Let's tell them you're gonna deposit your funds in the payment tab. Right now, my buying power, not kind of basic, but I have 0 deposits down. I've actually put in like 370 in here to get up to this price range so I can actually buy my car that I was looking for. Just because I didn't want to spend too much, because I know those fees were going to hit hard. And I think I ended up spending like somewhere around 4,000, or something after all fees, right? And that's with me going to pick the car up. That's another thing. You want to be able to go pick that car up, you're in the nearby state or somewhere cheap to where you're not gonna have to drive far, you're not gonna have to pay much for your trailer if you don't have one, all that extra stuff, Auctions day, otherwise I'd show you guys, what auctions look like, what cars are looking like they're going for. You can actually, save list, your watch list. If I got anything in here right now. Pretty sure I do. I'm looking at some S8, 6, RS3. I'm an Audi guy, so I like all these cars. So we've covered most of it. That's pretty much it. Appreciate you guys tuning in this video. This is one of my first big videos, time-wise and all that good stuff. I hope this helped. Hope you guys learned something and got educated with the Copart process. If you guys have any further questions I didn't answer, drop them down in the comments. I'll answer them as fast as possible. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll get that rebuild video out soon, so stay tuned for that.